Welcome back to Satisfactory, folks. If you're just tuning in, my name is Joel Duggan, and we are going to be heading back into the Devastator factory in the Rocky Desert. We are almost 1,100 hours into this save over the last 2 or 3 years. I always like to put that in there. I don't play the game all the time. I stream it a fair bit, but I don't play very much off hours. And the last time that we were here, we were working on some of the copper stuff that's going on. So we'll take a look at the copper and I'll explain what the plan is. I have run a few numbers, and the good news is we can do rotors. Stators, we may have to think about another way to handle them. But I've got a couple of other things to look up. So here we've got 32 refineries making 1,200 copper ingots. You can see those copper ingots flowing right there. And currently they're all going out into the main bus. And they're just going down the line for no good reason. We don't need to send them down the main bus anymore. We can actually redirect them upstairs. And that's where we're going to build our constructors. We also have another 300 here. That's not going anywhere. It has to go to stators. And as it turns out, that's exactly what we need. So if we take a look at my sheet, I did some backwards calculations. And so if we're going to be making 120 motors per minute, we need 240 rotors. I feel like we should make a couple extra, so we'll make 250. That means that we need 1,500 wire and 500 steel pipe. And so that means we need 50 assemblers, 1,500 wire, 50 constructors, and that happens to be 1,500 wire. So that's the 1,200 I just mentioned, plus the 300 there. The problem is that some of this 1,200 is being used in aluminum, so we'll have to replace that. But I've got a plan for that. That should be pretty easy to do. Then unfortunately down here, we need another 260 because we need to do stators. And stators and wire are really complicated. Stators we need for automated wiring. It might be better to make the stators later on. So instead of trying to do all of this together, I might still just do the 250. And then these things like automated wiring, crystal oscillators, and computers, I think it's going to be better to build the wire within those factories, like within that section. And so what we can do is bring copper in from the back. So if we look at the map of the game, there's a lot of copper back here. I've got 3 copper nodes back here. And then we've got this area right here where we can make copper ingots. And that's going to be where all of our computers and stuff are going to be made anyway. So it makes sense. Plus there's another pure copper ingot up here. No, impure, sorry. So we've got this bit of copper that we can overclock. And some of this is coming in from there. This is one we're already using. Yeah, 1... That's 2, and that's 3. So 3 is untapped. We can't use 3. We've got to bring in copper from somewhere else. We've got copper here, but it's really, there's not a lot going on. So I think it might be better to split our copper production and push it so that we're only making enough here as to what we need. And then I'll show you farther down the line here. So in the same place that we can make caterium, we can make copper ingots with the refineries, because it puts the refineries a lot closer to water, which is what we need to make the extra. So right down here, we could bring in copper because there's a copper mine. That's one right there. And there's another one. I want to say that's it right there. So that's really close to here. And if we're going to be building computers and stuff kind of like up in this area, then it would make sense to have all of the things we need just kind of going straight up. And that could lead to some really fun design work too. So I need to go check to see if we can overclock this outside bit here. We've got copper facility out to the I think it's to the south. Trying to remember where it comes from. I've not spent much time down here since we've added the train rails. They look really cool from below. I really like that we've got the floating platforms. I think it's fun. Where's the copper coming from? I think it's one of these guys. That's iron. That's iron. I think it's this guy in the back. Yep, there's the copper there. These old designs, man. Of 480. So we could increase that. And that could help us. And what does it do? 480 would go to 600, I think. Yep. Okay. So potentially getting another 120 per minute out of that. If we need it. And I think we will. So if we added 120, what do these guys take? 15. And then they output 35? 37.5. So that's another 8. So we can do 8 times 37.5. And that's 300. And that would be the extra copper that we would need. Pretty sure. The next question is, where do we put another 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, so they've already got rows of 8. We can't fit another one there. I don't want to fit another one out here, but we could. Because that's already part of the front symmetrical part of the base. So this could be whatever width it wants to be. I think we've made these the same on both sides. Out of curiosity. So this includes the wall. So 1, 2, 3, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 from the road. Let's count this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So I did make them essentially the same. This just has a different shape because of the cliffs here. So it would not be the end of the world, I don't think, if we decided to expand the size of our refineries. Because it's the only way we're going to get the extra copper, as far as I can tell. Because right now I'm doing this extra stuff here, which I maybe don't need to do. I really could just do the same 250. So if we just didn't do this, if we did, sorry, we would do this part. So if we didn't do this, this would just be 250. $240 goes into the motors. 10 would go into storage. And let's move this over here. And this would be reduced to 250. And that means we would need 50 machines. And $50 times 8 would be 400 wire. And this also reduces our steel requirements. Equals 50 times 3 is 150. So 400 wire is a lot easier to handle. Fits on one belt. And then 400 divided by 30 is 13. So we need only 13, really 14. One of them would have to be underclocked or something like that. And then this is 400. And then copper ingots, we would only need 14 times 15. 210. So we'd still have to use refineries on that extra copper. It would be less than 210. It's like 2.8 something, 6 repeating or whatever, but we would make it balance out. So I need to try to figure out where I can get more copper. And I honestly, I think the only place is this is feeding the machines already. We've got copper here, we're just not bringing it in anywhere. I don't think it's really being processed. It's certainly not being brought into the train. Does Bone Crusher have any extra space? Because it's 2 like pure copper nodes. I'm pretty sure we'd have to add a train car. Or 2. Potentially. Don't remember which one's Bone Crusher. This is empty car ports. I feel like there's at least room for 2 cars back at the Bone Crusher station? Let's go find out. Timetable. Western Slopes. Those are 2 pure nodes, yeah. It's not that they're not enough, it's that they're far away. I don't know if I have the throughput room on the actual train. So we do have the room. This is what I was worried about. But we've got... I'd have to move some belts around, but we could add at least 2 cars. Plus there's an empty car currently in the middle. This is not doing anything here. I think it's meant to be concrete, but we're just not using it. No, there's just nothing going on. So those other nodes that I was talking about, they're up here on the hill. I really wish I had done more with that pure copper ingot recipe. The good news is I think that we're smelting this stuff here, or at least we're ready to smelt it here. It's just, it's kind of silly that we're smelting it instead of using the refineries, but this was all set up before I had that refinery recipe. This was kind of like our extended early base when we needed extra good stuff. Yeah, so it's doing 480 right now. So we'd have to figure out whether that's enough. It would be dumb to bring in anything but the max, which is 600. The problem is, like, if we ever get new miners, like Mark III miners, we can increase the load up to 780. So all of these could be ready to go for copper ingots, right? Like all of this is set to go, but this is probably meant to handle 2 belts of 480, right? So I've got 30 coming in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, no, okay. This would do 2 belts of 600. That's fine. And then we could put that on a train. We would just have to bring it somehow up over. I do have a little belt connection over here somewhere. Yeah, there's some belts there. And they go down. They go down into the train station. So it's tricky. We could pull it from there if we really wanted to. But, like I said, if we have that 800, not 800, that 480, we can pull 120 from and turn that 120 into 300, then that is enough, right? Because if we look at this, I don't need 300, I only need 210. So if we could just turn that extra bit by using refineries again, then we could use that. And I do have the space for some refineries in that lower level, which we'll go back and look at. Bone crusher anywhere nearby? That's right, I'll just make a train again. Oh crap. We'll just ride you back. The interchange is cool looking? Thanks. Yeah, it's not, you mean the train interchange? I don't know if I like where it is on the map. It's right here, but it doesn't look centered. So, artist Joel is not happy with it. I'm wondering if just... I feel like that extra copper is going to be... Well, I guess we also have to find the extra copper for our aluminum too, right? Yeah, I like it to a point, but it still has a lot of issues. Getting up higher with trains is really, really tricky. Yeah, the gas is still there even though I destroyed the rocks. We'll take a minute to take a look at the layout from up here. Oh yeah, it's totally asymmetrical. So like if I wanted to change this part out here, then that would probably be a thing to do. Yeah, it's not the same at all. Alright, that's fine. We also have this space here. Right down here. So we could put another 8 in here. We tried to put 12, but we knew that that wouldn't work. But we could put 8 there. The problem, of course, is that we'd have to then sacrifice this plan. Right? So I think it makes more sense to put the other 8 refineries out in this space here. And we would just have to copy what we've got going on here. So that would bring us up to the full amount that we need. I think maybe plus what we would need. So I need 60. I think I need 60 for the aluminum. Where's my aluminum production? Yeah, I only need 60. So I would need 260, 270, and I would be able to get 300. So I think that solves the whole thing. We just have to do the refinery bit here. Which, I mean, is not hard to do. we'll have to add some water, but we've got the water extractors right over there. And I think the water extractors are not yet doing full amounts. I mean, it wouldn't be hard to add a fourth one. Right, so it's only at 67. So what we would do is probably end up needing water for another 8. See, another 80 water per minute. So yeah, we'd have to add another water extractor, because that's, no, not 80. Yeah, 80. So 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 480 water per minute, so that's exactly 4 water extractors. Oh, I see why I didn't come out this way. It's because there's a sand dune here. That's annoying. I could fit 4 on the end of each line. $15 copper per minute. $135, $150. If I could do rows of 10, that would be great. I'd have to add 2 onto each row, but that would still bring me well into this space. So this would not work. Unless we jam these two very close together. We could reduce the space here and have these output into a single line. That would help on that side too, actually. Yeah, you can't dig into the ground and move it, unfortunately. I mean, it makes for a very pretty map, but the fact that it's all uneven and stuff is a problem. Like, I think I can blow like that rock over there if I can hit it. Some of these rocks you can blow up, like that one. I might be able to blow this one up. Right? So that works. But then this kind of thing, you can't do anything like that. And then sometimes they look like you can blow them up, but then you can't, so it's a little bit tricky that way too. I mean, we could just raise up the platform. Maybe that's cool. Maybe we end up having some smokestacks sticking out the side of the factory. That could be kind of a fun look. That's honestly the easiest thing to do. I'd say would be to just extend this up a bit and build it out there. Okay, so then that takes care of our refineries there. That would get us up to, what am I looking at here? This would be like a +8 situation, so 8 refineries needing another 120 ore, putting out 300 ingots. That takes us up to 1,500 here for a total of 1,800. Actually, these would just be down here. So that would be our 300 here. And then we would have the 60 go off to aluminum. And that, so that doesn't change the constructor requirements. Yeah. Okay, so then we're looking at 50 constructors and 14. To do 400 per minute is the output. We could do iron wire too. Oh, there's a question. Maybe we don't need to do copper. Maybe we can just grab from iron? That's all being smelted. That's all being smelted too. Never thought about the iron wire. That's a good idea. Although, there's no nodes down this end. We're using all of it. It's all being smelted. There's lots down here, but that's good news for our later copper needs. So we only have the one recipe. I don't think there's any alternate recipes for wire that are worth doing. I think there's like Caterium wire, maybe. Yeah. That requires an assembler. Alright, never mind. So they're making 30 per minute. And if I just want that to be 25 per minute, then we would need 16. That's nice, easy layout. Red rum and cokes. Yeah, no, I just figured that out with the iron wire. We just don't have any iron. We're using all of the iron currently. That's immediately close by. We've got stuff up here, but like that's well beyond this stage in the production. So if I do, this is what, 83 repeating. So we'll do 16 constructors. And that's 83.3%. And they're going to do 25. And then that should mean it's 12.5 per minute. And then I'm pretty sure that's going to be 210. 12.5 times 16. So it's 200. Did I do that right? Yep. So that's 200. Then we'd end up with an extra 100 wire. Or, sorry, 100 copper ingots. So this is not happening there. This is actually going to be refineries. Oh, I wish my computer did not type so slow when I was playing this game. Cosmic Dancer gifted a Seer 1 sub to Obsidian Clad Fox. Thank you ever so much, Cosmic. That's amazing. And these are just normal. And they take 15 and they output 37.5. So this would be 300 and this would need 120. And then this is going to be 300. And this just goes away. Okay, well, I guess we start at the beginning. The only thing left to check is just to make sure I'm getting enough steel pipe. And so if we're doing 250 motors, or rotors, sorry, we need 500 steel pipe for that. And if we're doing stators at 500, we need 150. SweetSandi with 100 bits and MindTripMedia with 100 bits. Thank you ever so much. And that has kicked off a hype train. Level 2 hype train. Thanks ever so much. So we've got potentially 770. I don't remember that number. So we need 150 there. I don't know what's happening here. I don't know what's happening here. Or here. So I've got to double check my North Steel factory because I need to know what's happening with the different floors. I don't remember. There are 4 floors of production altogether, or 4 belts. So I've got 1A, 1B, 2A, and 2B. Or not 2B. And that is going to be over here. So I'm pretty sure that I've marked it underneath correctly, but we'll backtrack. Thanks ever so much for kicking that hype train off, folks. I really appreciate it. Right. So we say the signs 2A, 400 a minute, and 1A, that's the left side of the factory, 400. And then we've got another 30 per minute coming in from 1B. So we're going to have to figure out how to switch that around. So what's happening here is that this is being split into 200 and 200. How did that doesn't add up to 270 though? This would only be 240. Is it because this only needs? Right. So this is 400 a minute. What do these need? How many are there here? 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. So it's 280 per side. So this is a smart splitter. This is 400. And this is a smart splitter. Regular splitter. So 200 and 200 are going down that way, but it needs 280. That means that these upstairs can't be producing at 100%. Yeah, I really made some mistakes early on. Sorry. Thought I saw a yellow light there for a second. No, we're doing 100% a piece. So we're getting enough. How... I don't really remember. Even with the signs, I don't remember how I'm doing this. I know that it's all going up into heavy modular frames. I guess we can check to see if the heavy modular frames are doing 100%, because if they're doing 100%, then we know where things are working, right? Looks like they are. Almost. What was the bottleneck there? It's not the beams, it's modular frames, I would say. Okay, so I think what we'll do is we'll backtrack and double check that I've got the right belts hooked up. So we've got, what did I say, 2A and 1A, and then this is 1B. 2A and 1A. This should be 2A. Looks like that's right. Nope, that's 2B. That's 2A. So this was the 2A, I think. Yeah, okay. Glacius, thanks very much. It's far from perfect. Okay. Let's switch to this so we can get up faster. Thanks again for that hype train, folks. Really appreciate it. Are these up to 100% now? Yes. These guys aren't, though. Why are you doing nothing? So you're slow on steel. Which one is powering the top? This side. So coal is the issue. Why are we not getting enough coal? Scavenger train. It's not giving enough coal. Alright, check the scavenger train. Add that to the to-do list. So we had... These 2 floors are going to encased industrial beams. And then these 2 floors I know I moved. Or will be moving. At least one of them is moved. This one is still going straight along. So it's 2 floors that I can spare. Minus 30. That's the 770. This is making 20 times 20 is 400. And then that the row below is doing the same. Want to make sure that the row below is operating at 100%. Yeah. So this is 800 minus the 30. So it is 770. That is what I'm dealing with in terms of my extra. Yeah, Glaciers, if you hang out long enough, you'll see all kinds of different angles in the factory. Let me see here. Alright, so it is 770. We've got... This is... $400 pipes. And that goes to encased industrial beams. And then this is going to go 1B. So this goes to motors, and this goes to motors. And then it just goes minus 30 to heavy modular frames. Whoops. So this was right. This was 770. That means that this is 270. And that this is 270 minus 150, which is 120. And that's good because we make a lot of pipes and we need them for oil and water and all that kind of stuff. All right. Cool. So I think because of that double check, I know I have the resources to do what we need to do. So we'll start to build out everything here. I'm not sure I'm keeping all this scaffolding stuff, but I might get rid of some of it. Certainly going to have to get rid of this because we're going to be building out in this way. So let's take a look and see what is going to be involved over here. Get rid of the trees. Unfortunately, I think we're going to have to add another pipe, which is going to make that look kind of strange. Oh, I guess we could just increase the pipe capacity. Won't be too bad. So I'd say we probably have to start over here. Yeah, this is all going to be... I can't even get a full foundation. And we might not have to go up a full 4 meters. I had done some measurements out here for potential design, so I'm only going to delete the stuff in between. Need some power for hovering here. Alright, so if I was to measure this out again, we would need an export line. So we could do the export like right here. I know we'll have to go up higher than that, but for now, I just want to line this up. Go farther. How far did I have these away? I'd say that's probably pretty good. That doesn't stick out that far. So that would be our export, but then we've got to deal with this stuff getting stuff coming in. It would be higher, so the good news is we can put stuff underneath. So that wouldn't be too much of a problem. Feeding these from below, though, is a problem, I think, so we'll try to keep the pipes visible. So this space in general is going to be used up by belts and pipes. So that would push, I'd say, this design probably out to here. At the very least. And then we would just line everything up. Make it look like it's all part of the original plan. A lot of this is going to be rebelted, I think, in order to balance out the load, so it should be good. We just have to make sure we're going up high enough. And height is probably going to be at least... Well, we should go up by a full 4 meters, even though we don't have to, because... We want to make sure that we have space to work. That should be easy enough. This will be here. So we may have to rethink how this all works. Don't know how this is going to affect the design. In a way, I'm kind of glad I didn't design the outside of this build, because this would have been really tedious to move. And I don't think we're encroaching too close there. We should be okay. Lesson learned. I really should have just made as many copper ingots as I could have made possible. And I think I might have been limited to the Mark IV belt. So maybe I did try to make as many as possible. Alright, so get rid of that. And then we can just line them up here. And I'm pretty sure I had these lined up right to the edge. Yep. Yeah, output is out the back. Input is at the front. Then I should just be able to line the rest of these up. Sun is going down. Thank you, Sandy. Appreciate that. You're right. It was probably logistics. It was probably the fact that I could not get them all. Now, are these all jammed up against each other? No, it looks like there's a space between them. Yeah, I'd say left just a little bit of a space. So that it lines up with the middle. Cool. Now that I know what I'm doing, we can proceed. First though, if you're new to the channel, I take a break once an hour. And the first hour is past. First I gotta get back to the brake train though. I'm miles from my hypertube. Hitch a ride in the garbage chute. And you all get to ride the brake train. So I take a break once an hour, folks. I'll be back in 5 or 6 minutes. one of the things that I always think about is when I'm about to build anything more than a half dozen machines, is it worth making a blueprint for them? I don't think so. Especially because I have to make them look like the old designs, so we'll see what I can come up with. Thank you, Sandy. So we'll just throw in the extra refineries. I guess I should make sure I can make some. Let's take that down to 0 and do... Glad I checked. Short on pipe. Motors. That's why I want to make an extra 10 motors a minute, because we need them for buildings. Steel pipe. Oops. And get rid of some of this. And motors. I think we should be good. I never get tired of flying through hypertubes. So we'll just continue these along here. Now, why does that... So it's 2 clicks, looks like. Yep. It's not playing nice now. That's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How are all these powered? They're all connected to poles, probably? Oh, wow, yeah. Old school. Old school. We won't be doing that. We won't be doing that. Let's go... For now, let's go ceiling. That's pretty straight. That is straight, unless I can get another one squeeze in here. I'd say that's the way. Works for me. Oh, right. I have to do this one at a time. So the issue right now is that you can't nudge them and at half-meter increments. When there's a wire attached to them, they only move in a full meter. Found that out the other day. And this will also help us with all the flying we have to do. And then temporary power. Let's grab you. Guess we'll go across here for now. This will at least get us some power. Or does it? It does not. Why does that not have power? Or maybe it does. Oh, there we go. Just didn't have the recipe. That's fine. Paste. The pattern on the roof helps a lot to align with stuff. Absolutely, yeah. That's why I generally build with these kind of foundations first, and then I move on from there. All right, so I don't need these anymore. There is a pole in there. Crap. Oh, I can get it. Okay, cool. Okay, so this side, I think what we can do is remove this and change it to 1 meter. At least some of the way. And some of this is going to run out. I think this is the right level. Yeah. So going to run tight on space. The plan was to try and do this all underneath the floor, but this might not be possible. Unless I could run everything back this way. Still going to run into the same issue, I think. just maybe not as much of it. So we know these are going to need floor holes to receive the ore. That probably looks pretty good. And we also know that they're going to need water. And right now I've got all the water coming in from these two pipes below. Again, probably before pipe holes were even a thing. So we'll have to have another pipe coming up through here. Now we could run the pipe through here. That might work. But first I've got to figure out what's happening with these. So we're looking at 15. So this only has to be a Mark 1. Now they're all going to be pulling off of a splitter. I'm trying to figure out... thanks for the lurk, T30. Appreciate it. How did I split this stuff up? I did that double... Yeah, I did the double manifold. Or split manifold. I might not be able to do that on this line. That's fine. So I can't run the water down underneath here because this is going to have to be here. Well, a pipe could fit there. That could work. I maybe not. We'll run it in there. I might come it up, bring it up in here, and then have it come down that way. So then all we need to do is just run the splitters. So then I just have to line these up. Now this is where, unfortunately, it's probably going to be a problem for the rest of these. What could we do to make this easier? Well, there's only 3 left, so we could technically just have 1 splitter and 3 belts. That could work. Unfortunately, it's going to be tricky. That's going to show up. So maybe what we need to do is split this guy twice. Or we could take the initial feed here and split that twice. That's going to be the best way. That's going to be the best way to do it. So then that'll be the last on this line. I'll have one more here. That has to go farther. Still can't do 3. And that is... Well, we could make that hollow. That's fine. We could still... This doesn't have to be a foundation. We can still have this be a 1 meter. Or it could be a couple of half meters. We could figure that out. No, you can't move the ground, Big Bad Wolf. It's unfortunate. Some of it is just like, this is an old save, and so I didn't necessarily plan to expand this way. So I'm just kind of, I'm dealing with this because I've made some mistakes. The good news is we've got floor holes and we can make it look tidy. All I need to do here is just get this. Our input is coming in here, and we need to split it off in this direction into another splitter. Right, so we'll just do this. Probably facing in that direction. And then I just need 1, 2, 3 lanes. So 1, 2. That should be good. So then we can take this line and then this can go into 3 different lanes. And that we can just run this up here. So we'll get as far as we can. And actually, this should be the right amount of space. We could do ceiling belts to get that a little bit farther, but see how it gets into the sand. So I'd say probably about there. And then after that, we're just going to be on our own. And there's going to be some clipping. That gets one in there. I might want to actually move that just to be that guy. You know what? We'll just go straight in. It's just a real pain. Honestly, we could probably do it easier if I just remove this stuff here. And then this, unfortunately, we're just going to have to go along the ground. Now, thankfully, they did give you the arrows or the guides, so you can still kind of get it roughly where you want it to be. And if it wasn't an old save, I would not be happy with this. But it is what it is for now. Get rid of the stuff that doesn't matter. I think there's anything else down there. So again, ugly and not how I would normally play, but we're kind of up against the wall here with not anticipating copper needs from like 2 years ago. So I'm making adjustments as I go. What are we going to be doing here? We're going to be bringing in... This is a 480 belt, and it gets split in half here. And in half there. So we need to, this is going to have to be load balanced better. Because now we've got 5 rows of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so that's 120 each, right? So it'll be Mark II belts the whole way. So I'll just bring this down. And then it won't matter after that because everything is just going to be a Mark I. We'll make that's a Mark I. Then these will just going to have 20 on them? No. 30. So these will have 15 a piece on them. Or no, 10 a piece. That's not right. That won't work. They each need 15. 120 comes in here. 60 goes to there. And 60 goes to there. No. 60 minus 15. So 45, 30, right, that's not going to work. Crap. This has got to be a smart splitter. Yeah, yeah. So we've got left output is going to be copper ore. Forward input is going to be copper ore. And left is going to be overflow. I hope this will work. Because I need to split these not evenly. It'll work when it fills up. No, that's fair. But I want it to fill up faster. Okay, so if we still want... I guess... yeah, I can't bring the pipes in this way, so the pipes are absolutely going to have to come down this way here. And there are... oh, autosave. So I was also load balancing the pipes, it looks like. Yeah. That'll be a lot to mess around with. Alright, it's one pipe being split into the other two. So we now need 120 water? No, 80 water. 80 water. So I'll probably bring that back this way. The pumps will be plenty. So what I'll do is I'll come through the floor here. And we can do this stuff on the ceiling, so I can just come out here, line the floor up with where I want it to be. Center is good. And these take 6, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know if that's going to be too tall. So many flashing lights. Noodle surprisingly looks okay. Oh, it does have a weird bend in it. That's fine. We're going to need to get rid of these anyway. Just pop these out here. Oh, come on. I definitely feel the range of the hover pack on this build. Now, why does that feel lower to me? Right on the line. Should be straight. I think it's just an optical illusion with the top part. That'll be the end of that line, and then we can put in a floor hole for decoration. And then along here, we just have to put in the different thank you, Sandy. Appreciate it. Just have to put in the different splitters. And hope this works. And it doesn't. That would be too easy. I guess we can go from the top instead. I mean, alternatively, I could just run the whole pipe above everything, just like I did over here. That's probably the easier thing to do. Could bring it up there. Don't know why I had to go up so high. But that will keep it consistent with what we've got, so that's fine. 2, 3. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, come on, hover pack. Could you just work? I guess that keeps everything tight within the space too. Yeah, and that's consistent with the rest of the design. Should be fine. Alright, where's my power? So dumb. So then this stuff should just be pretty straightforward. Curve of all the pipes. I don't know. Yeah, see, then this is not playing nice either. I think I just brought it straight down, right? Yeah. Now that's not snapping anymore. Weird. So I have to build one on the ground in order for it to snap. And with these pipes, you really don't want to screw around. I feel like you're better off with something a little bit ugly that functions, because the liquid in this game, the physics can be tricky. I know it's all white and green. We'll change that. That looks right to me. So I just think that these things look like they hold up themselves. So I don't think we need these pipe supports after the fact. I'll leave this end one just because we haven't finished it yet. And then I'm also going to take that and just smooth that out. And then of course we can get rid of all this. Oh, wait a minute. This can just go here. And then this will have to connect along here. So we'll need a 4th water extractor, and we have to divide each line into 80. So the ideal situation would be to get one pipe that had 160 in it, or 240 would be great. Yeah, we're not too bad. I mean, like, it's all ready to go. If I pop along here and paint a few things. And I think we're going to move and have better colors on our pipes. I prefer knowing what's in them based on what color they are. Stuff under the floor I don't care about. That's fine. Plus I think the orange and blue looks kind of cool. I'm not crazy about that. Maybe we make that copper color. Don't know what else you'd want to make it. I think the copper color looks better. Whoops. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, the color helps me remember what's what as well. I agree. So it's possible that we might be able to get these smokestacks like into the design of the build, and might be able to work something out down the line when we design the outside of this, where we can use some of these angled walls. Right? And we could design something along here to make that look like it happens on purpose. So that could be a fun kind of way to add some cool activity, because of course once these things start going, they've got quite a lot of smoke that comes out of them, right? So that's kind of fun. So the last thing is going to be hooking up another water extractor. I guess first I got to deal with these things, don't I? That's those 3 done. Let's try this. Oh, that didn't work. Gotcha. So we're going to need 40 times 10 is 400 water. So these are doing 120. So we need 4, or I could overclock them and I could leave the 3 pipes. That might work. Because we can make the pipes bigger. We can have the higher capacity pipes. So it might be easier just to throw power shards in this. Because what 400 divided by 3 is like 130 something. It's going to be way cheaper just to add another extractor. That's fine. So we'll just plug another one of those right alongside. Don't know if they're like snapped against one another. Looks like they're in the center, sort of. I'm not sure why they're so spaced out. You can't nudge them? That's dumb. Yeah, I'm not sure why they're all... I must have done this by hand. Oh! They're working, but there's some graphical glitches. So they were probably in the right position. Knowing me, I probably aligned them up with the middle of the foundation. That's fine. Okay, so we'll have to change that up. I'll probably get the first one in line. Let's just, there's power. It's pretty close, I'd say. Wonder if I built something here. And then power. Why is the flow rate 0? There we go. Yep, I'm going to want to mess around with that to make that look a lot nicer. So I'll do that next time. So we'll add a 4th extractor, but we're going to keep the 3 pipes so I don't have to design or redesign any of this. And then what we'll end up doing is changing the way that it's load balanced. So right now the middle pipe gets split and each one of these takes it evenly because we used to have 4 rows of 8. So this powered, or this fueled 2 rows of that way, this fueled 2 rows that way, but now this is going to do 3. So we'll need 240 in this, and we'll need 160 in that. So, since I just figured that out, Might as well just make that note. And this is going to be 240 because it's powering 24 refineries. And the other one is doing 16. So we'll have to fix that. Yeah, so this will end up, I'll probably just end up removing some of this to sort that out. And last thing we'd have to do is, of course, increase the belt. So the belt needs to be increased. Where's a good spot to leave a marker for that? I would say right here. Oh, that's the wrong way around. Oh, good. You'd think that they'd have a release for this, right? Finally. All right, let's just go with an arrow. So we need to make sure we overclock that and upgrade the belt. Cool. So that'll be the next task, to get all of our copper needs ready for all the upper floors. That is where I need to wrap things up for today. So if you've hung out with us all afternoon, thank you ever so much for being here. It's always fun, chill way to spend a Sunday. And if you want to listen to more stuff that's free for me, check out the Spawn Chunks podcast. New episode records tomorrow. And we also have, of course, the Citadel Cafe, and that'll have a new episode coming out this week as well. You can follow me on social media, Joel Duggan, very easy to find, and Joel Duggan on Patreon, which is where I get a good chunk of my support in order to do this kind of cool stuff. So thank you to everybody that subbed today, that used 100 bits, that jumped in on that hype train. All that kind of stuff is just wonderful. I'm going to pass you along to somebody else, hopefully playing Satisfactory or Minecraft. Let's just see who's live. Send you along to somewhere fun. It looks like, hey, look, Elcor95, who is a member of our community, is playing Minecraft. So let's send everybody over to into Elcor95's stream. I want to say they're doing Vault Hunters, so it could be an interesting ride. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, folks. Thanks ever so much for being here. Bye for now.